everyone, Sophia here from My Great Challenge. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are in the kitchen. I am going to do a very basic baking recipes. Today I am making a Dutch oven baked bread. So I don't know about you, but me personally, I absolutely love and cannot resist the smell of fresh baked bread. In particular if it's crusty and the butter still melts on it because it is straight out of the oven. It is a very easy recipe. All you need is 3 ingredients and I'm going to share them with you right now. The only thing you need is time on your hand, and that would be the time you need for the dough to rise. It's about 8 hours, so let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is a cast iron pot. This is a Dutch oven. This one is Cuisinart and this is a enameled cast iron pot. I purchased it at TJ Maxx. You don't have to go and spend a lot of money on these. I think this one was $59. Everybody makes them now, so you can go to Target and find probably the Food Network version of those. There's the Stove, there's of course the Le Creuset, which is a French brand. They do not have to be super expensive. This one is pretty large and I've had it for many years, and the color at the bottom changes a little bit over the years, so that's a sign that it's been well loved and used. So you definitely will need a cast iron pot to do this. So you don't have to run to the store. I'm sure you have something in your house, such as one of those Corningware baking pots that goes in the oven that you can use for that as well. For flour, I'm using the Bob's Red Mill. This is the unbleached, enriched artisan bread flour. This is especially made for baguettes, buns, rolls, focaccia bread, any kind of bread you want to make. I like this one. It has a little bit of a sour taste to it, which is wonderful, but it's not a sourdough flour. That being said, that's the one I'm recommending. Very, very good flour. You're going to need some parchment paper. Reynolds is the brand I use. There's different brands out there. This one is relatively cheap. And then of course you need some active dry yeast, and this one is the original from Fleischmann's. They have a fast acting one and then they have the active dry yeast, so make sure you get the active dry, not the other one that comes in the blue pack. So the proportions: you will need 3 cups of flour, you will need 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast, you're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of salt, preferably sea salt, and just 1.5 cup of warm water. That's it. So let's get started. In a large bowl, you're going to want to add 3 cups of the flour of your choice. Again, I am using the Bob's Red Mill artisan bread, and that's just 3 cups. Now, ideally what you want is the kind of bowl that comes with its own top, you know, kind of like the Tupperware type bowl. I don't have any of those that is large enough, so I'm using just a regular large mixing bowl, and I will add 2 layers of saran wrap or the plastic wrap when I let the dough rise this afternoon. So that's just 3 cups of the flour. And to my flour, I'm going to add a full teaspoon of my active dry yeast. Just sprinkle it over like so, and now all I have to do is add the salt and the water. This is just 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt, and I'm ready to add the water. This is just 1.5 cup of warm water. This is a little bit warmer than lukewarm, but it's not hot. Okay, I'm just going to take a spatula and start mixing my dough. Now it needs to be kind of sticky. It's not going to be very pretty. You want to be gentle when you mix it. Remember, this is a no kneading type bread. With the yeast in it, it's still going to make the bubbles that you want. You can use your hands if you want. There's nothing against it. And I'm probably going to do that right now. Just want to remove the excess right here. Okay. And what I want to do is grab every bit of flour that I have left along my bowl. So you see it's got to be sticky. All right. So I'm just gonna wash my hands. Leaving the dough like this in the shape of a bowl, I'm going to just go ahead and cover it with the plastic wrap and then let it stand on the counter for 8 hours. I'll be right back. And here we go. I'm just going to cover my bowl with the plastic wrap. I want a good hermetic seal. And the reason why I want it to be very, very tight, I'm sorry about the glare, because I want the yeast to really ferment in there. And what I'm going to do in addition to really wrapping it up is adding a towel over it to keep it dark. And this is going to stay on my counter for 8 hours and I can go about my business. So tonight, when I come back, we will put it in the oven. Okay, let me cover it. And this is one of the towels from the Pioneer Women. And they're pretty, I love them. They have this velvety texture. Really, really like those. I found them at Walmart, very inexpensive. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave this like this on my counter for 8 hours. So when I come back, the dough will have risen and we'll be ready to put it inside the Dutch oven. And while I'm at it, and I still have some yeast in one of the packets that I opened, I bought some of these little handy foil 10 mini loaf pans, and what I'm going to do is prepare another dough, and when this one cooks in the Dutch oven, I want to see if I can cook some of the mini loaves with the same recipe in those little tin foil pans that would allow me to make bread, little ones, and freeze them and have some for breakfast for the week to come. All right, let me do this. I'll be right back. All right, so I have another bowl, exact same recipe. I'm going to leave this on the side. Again, I'm covering it so it stays in the dark. The warmth from the water will help the active yeast to rise, and when I come back, technically what you're supposed to see is little bubbles all over your dough. That means that you're ready to just shape it in the shape of a loaf and put it in your Dutch oven. So I'll see you around 8 o'clock at my house. It is noon right now, so we'll see what it looks like when I come back. This is a quick update. We are 4 hours into the dough rising. Look at the size of this. And then the other one, let me bring it a little bit closer, hopefully not too much of a glare. Okay, you see how much it's risen? Now look at all the bubbles, you see that? Okay, so it's nice and flexible. When I move it, it's gonna go in for another 4 hours like this, and then by 9:30 tonight, I'll have fresh bread. All right, so it's been 8 hours. Look at this beautiful dough. Do you see all of the little bubbles? That's from the yeast. What I did was preheat my oven at 450 degrees, and my Dutch oven is in the oven actually right now because I need to preheat it as well. So in about 5 minutes, I'll take it out. I'll put the parchment paper, and I'm just gonna make a big bowl with my dough and just drop it in there and put it in the oven. To do is take my dough. See how sticky it gets? That's beautiful. It smells wonderful. Just take the dough. Now you don't want to work it too much, because if you do, then it starts losing all of its rise. Turn this way so you can see it better. There we go. There we go. Okay. Try to shape it a little bit like a round thing. Don't worry if it's not perfect, because it will continue to rise and grow. Okay, so I'm just gonna cover it, and that's going in the oven for 30 minutes. There we go. 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I'm going to take off the lid and let it bake for another 15, and it will be done. So I will see you when this is done. So it's been 30 minutes. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the lid, and you'll notice that on the side I have the little breads that I told you I was making. So I'm going to take that off, and here's my loaf inside. And now it's going to brown and continue to rise. So 15 more minutes. 15 minutes without the lid, and this is what you get. Here's the big one in the Dutch oven, and the 3 little breads that I made. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the smell is unbelievable. Nice and crusty. Ooh, I can't wait to try it. So I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit because it's too hot right now, and I'm gonna slice it up to show it to you and taste it, and we'll see whether or not this is worth your effort. Look at this bread. It looks amazing. I can't wait to cut it. Oh, it's still hot. Hold on. Okay. So I'm going to start slicing it. Oh, do you hear this? Can you hear this? Amazing. Oh, this is the way bread should look like on the inside. Look at this amazing bread. It smells wonderful. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut a nice slice. I pulled out the butter from the fridge already so that it's not too cold. Can you see the steam coming out of it? Look at, oof, yes. So French. Fresh butter on a piece of bread. Let's taste it. So I gotta tell you guys, this is absolutely divine, and if you really want to impress your family member, if you have people coming over the weekend, just do your dough in the evening on Friday and start baking the following morning and serve that bread at the breakfast table. You will be a winner. This is absolutely delicious. It's fluffy. It's got just the right hint of sourdough, but that's based on the yeast that I use and the artisan flour, so you don't have to use that kind of flour if you don't like that little bit of a sourdough taste. But this is definitely an artisan bread. Delicious. I recommend it. Love that recipe, and easy to do. You just have to wait. That's it. Okay, that was it. If you like this recipe, give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to leave your comments below if you have other recipes you want to share with me, or if you want me to make specific recipes for you. Don't forget to subscribe right here in the corner, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye.